Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby. Weekend 1 of the URC, round 1 done and dusted. We'll do a little weekend review and then also look at round 2 and do a little predictions video. This is the only time that we'll actually do it both in one video. Otherwise, from next week on, we'll do it in 2 separate videos. It's just because we are so stacked with rugby at the moment. We had the Currie Cup, we had the internationals and stuff, and I didn't want to just like overload and post like 5 videos a day. You get what I mean? But anyway, we'll run through round 1 first and foremost. But I do have a question for you guys. Not a question, but a kind of a request. I know I always ask to like and subscribe to the channel. Please do remember to do that if you do like the videos. But as you can see here at the top of me is my other socials, right? But especially the Twitter one. I haven't always been active on Twitter, but I've kind of found like the Twitter very interesting at the moment, or X if you want to call it. So please do go to CB Rugby or Casual Bias Rugby, whatever you want to call it. And just go and follow me on there, you know, just for some wild opinions. I would love to get you guys involved in the comment sections of even the Twitter page. You know, it's something new for me, and I kind of just enjoy it, just chatting a bit of shit on there. Anyway, let's go on to the URC. Round 1, starting off on Friday night. I was actually live on TikTok, and I'm going to try and do this live every single Friday evening, see if we can do a Friday night live special every single Friday with the Friday games of the URC. But we had Edinburgh versus Leinster to start us off with, and it was a beautiful game. I thought Edinburgh was their own nemesis in this game, or their own enemy in this game. They could have won it, right? Like, Leinster were just so clinical in terms of capitalising on Edinburgh's mistakes, but I thought overall, Edinburgh looked like the better team. I just thought Ali Price had an absolute shocker. But other than that, Edinburgh looked really, really saucy, and it sets it up so beautiful for this weekend against the Bulls, you know. But well done to Leinster. I mean, when you don't play well and you still get the result and you still get the bonus point as well, what more can you really ask for, right? That's what the good teams do. So Leinster will take some confidence from that. They'll probably think we just snuck by, but we'll be happy. We'll take it. We got all the points that we kind of needed. Edinburgh, they'll probably feel a bit disappointed. First game of the season, you know. But disappointed with the result, but happy with the performance, I could say. So yeah, that was a sensational game. What a way to start off the URC season. And I loved round 1 because literally, if you look at the scores that I have on the screen over here, every single game was decided within 5 points. I think the URC actually put out a statement to say, listen, this was the closest that every game on average has been. I think the average was like a 2.4, 2.7 points difference. Ridiculous. Just tells you the quality of this league. I absolutely love the URC. I know a lot of South Africans talk about, oh, we miss the Super Rugby and stuff. And obviously, I do miss the Super Rugby to some degree because there's obviously that nostalgia effect. But this is something new. It is beautiful. It is something different. It gives us opportunity to actually follow most, if not all, of the games, you know. Next up, we had Cardiff versus Zebre. Cardiff in a massive lead. What was it, by halftime? I didn't keep too much of an eye on this game, but then obviously Zebre coming back at the end. And I spoke about it. I want to see the Zebre of the start of last season. They looked so exciting. Everyone was talking about the new coach, the new youngsters coming through and how they're looking good. And then they just kind of dropped off into being the same old Zebre that we all know. But I mean, they'll take some confidence from that comeback victory. I thought Cardiff really impressed me last season. So the fact that Zebre actually pulled them close this season, you know, that could be something to look at, especially seeing that it was away from home. And Zebre, if you look at where they can possibly win a game, it's only at home. So, you know, they'll take some confidence from that, but well done to Cardiff. Then up next, we had Ospreys taking on the Dragons, and this is kind of one of those games that no one's talking about. I didn't see it a lot on social media, right? But what really impressed me about this game is obviously the result. You know, last season, at the end of last season, we saw the Ospreys, I think it was twice in a row almost, that the Ospreys, or on Judgment Day, that the Ospreys beat the Dragons twice. Now, start of the next season, there you go, Dragons playing at home, beats the Ospreys, you know, and we were impressed by the Ospreys. They were fighting for top 8, Dragons dead at the bottom. And here the Ospreys, the Dragons just come out of nowhere, gets the victory over the Ospreys. A little derby. I wasn't a fan that there's a derby on literally round 1, but I mean, you got to play what's in front of you, and the Dragons did, and they actually got the victory, you know, and it was a comeback victory after all as well. Brilliant by the Dragons, really. I just like it. I like a little underdog story, you know, and we nearly had the same thing with the next game. we had Munster taking on Connacht. Connacht in the lead for most of the game. The game taken right to the death. One of the best games of the season already. It's going to be one of the best games of the season. Munster sneaking over the line, 35 points to 33. Yeah, Connacht will be kicking themselves that they didn't get this over the line. I mean, when you're in the lead the whole game and you know it's a derby, you kind of need to do everything you possibly can to just secure the victory. Even if you have to play a bit dirty, get a bit of argy-bargy going. But yeah, anyway, Munster just showing their quality. The same kind of as Leinster, where it's like, you just, these tough games, if you can sneak over the line, you just do it. And I think Munster still got their bonus points as well, so they still got max points from it. So they won't really care about it too much. They got their points, they move on. Next up, Benetton versus Scarlets. Once again, another little comeback story. I think Benetton, weren't they like 17-3 in the lead? Could be 23 in the lead. And then Scarlets just out of nowhere comes back and absolutely smashes them and dominates the game, in my opinion, for large parts of the game, and literally makes it 20-20. The draw. Round one, we get a draw already. I bet a lot of people lost their money, including myself. So I was very annoyed by this result. But anyway, Ulster versus the defending champions, Glasgow Warriors. I said Ulster knows how to keep a game tight. They kept it tight. They snuck over the line against the defending champions at home. And I mean, obviously, it's not a great start for Glasgow, but this is like the epitome of what I just said, like why this franchise league is probably the best in the world at the moment. Like, it's the most fun to watch. You just don't know, right? Like most people, including myself, probably would have said Glasgow easy. Yet here Ulster comes, right? Upset of the century, pulls one over the defending champions on the first game of the season. Can you believe it? Anyway, of course, there was no South African teams to play. So we're going on to round 2 of the URC. The predictions, straight off the bat. Glasgow, we just spoke about them, taking on Benetton. They return home. I'm pretty sure they're going to want some vengeance. Benetton, they'll probably think we should have gotten that previous game over the line. We can't believe how we didn't do that. So they'll come out ready for the game. But I don't think Benetton will get it done. I think the fact that they drew to the Scarlets at home, that's a worrying start. Glasgow, first game back home. I'm going to back Glasgow to do it, but I do think Benetton will be ready. I'm going Glasgow to win it by 11 points, roundabout. Leinster to take on the Dragons. Dragons, yeah, obviously you impressed me by beating the Ospreys, but this is Leinster we're talking about. I'm not expecting to see a full-strength Leinster team whatsoever, but they should still get the job done pretty easily. And by pretty easily, I'm going Leinster by 30 points. I think they smashed the Dragons, to be honest. Then, finally, we have our first South African team in round 2, the Currie Cup runners-up. And how do you explain the Lions not winning the Currie Cup? Like, I mean, it's crazy. They had a line out after 80 minutes and mauled. Didn't kick it out. Lost the ball, and the Sharks attacked till about 60 meters out, got a penalty. Shouldn't have been a penalty to the Sharks, straight to the Lions. And Jordan Hendrickse kicks a 60-meter penalty. That's just swerving like a Messi ball, a Messi free kick, straight through the middle. Yeah, and the Sharks won the Currie Cup. Anyway, but the Lions, at least they're playing at home. Ulster has to travel. I know Ulster just beat Glasgow Warriors, but the Lions coming off a Currie Cup season, they'll be ready. They've had this season to kind of build the chemistry in the team. So yeah, I'm going Lions to win it. I think they will just sneak over the line though. I'm going with the Lions to win this game by 6 points. But I think it's going to be a dirty game. You already know Ulster will always make it tough. So Lions by 6 points. Vodacom Bulls versus Edinburgh. Game of the round. Exciting one. I was really impressed by Edinburgh, as I just mentioned, but the Bulls, they've got a couple of boys coming home as well. They're playing at Loftus, which makes it very tough. I can't back Edinburgh when it's being played at Loftus. You know, it's a fortress to go there. So I'm going to back the Bulls to get it done by 10 points. They'll be ready for the URC season. The Bulls will want to kick on. They've lost 2 URC finals. They have to be up and ready. Obviously, still missing a lot of their Springboks, but it's the battle of Akker van der Merwe versus Duan van der Merwe. But I just think that physical threat of the Bulls will just be too good for Edinburgh. But I do think it's going to be a scintillating game. A very, very nice game of rugby. Hopefully the weather plays a part, to be fair. But yeah, I believe it's going to be a good game. Anyway, then you have Zebra versus Munster. Let's not beat around the bush. Munster, they'll probably got a wake-up call after last weekend. They'll come out and they'll spank Zebra. So I'm going Munster to get the victory by, let's say, 25 points. So yeah, the two big Irish teams, kind of, in my opinion, they get the big victories. Then you have Scarlets versus Cardiff. Cardiff to get the victory. Yeah, I think the Scarlets put in a good performance against Benetton, but yeah, Cardiff, I actually believe Cardiff is going to have a decent season, so I'm going to go with Cardiff to get the victory, let's say by about 11 points. And then you have Connacht versus Sharks, and yeah, the Sharks still missing all of their Springboks players. I know they just won the Currie Cup, but obviously now they have to go and travel. Connacht will feel good about them, about their performance against Munster. I think they get it over the line, but just like sneaking over the line. So I'm going with Connacht to win this game by 4 points. And then finally, we have the Ospreys taking on Stormers. Damian Willemse back. The Stormers coming, well, in the Currie Cup, it's the Western Province, coming off a dreadful season there. But I think the Stormers are just a different breed. When they're getting coached by John Dobson, actually, they play some decent rugby. So the Stormers, I'm backing us to get it over the line. I know we travel like absolute shit, but you got to back your team, okay? And not even subjectively speaking, I'm speaking objectively thinking, I think the Stormers will get it over the line. I do think it will be close, but I'm going Stormers to win this game by about 8 points. I just hope we win. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much, and I will see you next time. Bye.